Evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Note Closer Show. It is the third Monday of the month, and you know what that means?
Marketing Monday.
Marketing Monday with our regular guests, regular marketing rock stars, the folks from Serving Social. We've got Elijah Whites, the man, the myth, the legend, who's usually behind the camera.
Yes, I am.
And Christy is out with being a little bit under the weather.
Yeah, I would say that.
So we wish her well, right? Get a little NyQuil, DayQuil in her.
That's exactly what she needs.
Because there is some stuff floating around, basically. I was under the weather. No,
I'm just kidding.
Yes. I'm on the outside looking back into it now, which is great. But excited to have you here. Elijah, you do a lot of video, do a lot of photography. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people struggle with that in their marketing, right?
All the time. I mean, I think the biggest thing is just time, right? Scheduling, making sure you're not only shooting the video, but you're actually producing the video, giving a finished product that can then go live and all that kind of good stuff. Right.
And that's important, making sure you've got good sound, that you got good lighting, right? Making sure you got a decent camera. I think it's one of the things I see people struggle with is, well, the smartphone is not a bad video.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good camera.
Right.
But if they're using something on their computer, you taking the time to get a better webcam than one that's built in the laptop, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like most standard webcams, I mean, they offer really poor quality. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, you get a camera with your computer. That's awesome. But I mean, at this point in time, everything comes with a camera. So now you really got to look at what type of camera is it? Is it really going to be the best quality? Like, it is always good to be able to test out cameras on computers before you get them. Not everybody can always do that, but cameras are getting so affordable these days that, I mean, if you don't have a good webcam, I mean, you can easily pick one up for very cost effective.
Yeah, for like $49 and $99, and it's well worth the $99 one.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon, Alibaba, or AliExpress, I mean, you can get, again, cost-effective cameras, literally just littering the streets.
Littering the streets. You'll see them you'll see them out there, just in the gutters out there waiting for everybody.
So. But yeah, I mean, real easy to do. Of course, phones. And if you don't have a good phone on it and you have a DSLR, I mean, there's a lot of different cameras you can use that you probably already have. Maybe you got to change some settings, things like that. But yeah, it just really depends on the type of quality. If you're really just trying to get video content out there, that's one thing, getting started. But as you get better at it, you want to have the quality. The quality video, quality audio are going to be some of the biggest selling points on why people continue to watch your videos, because I want to, visually see what's going on. And I also want to hear what you're saying. So that's important to hear what we're actually talking about, right? Yeah. And if you can't hear what you're saying, then subtitles, those work as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, Eric Hyde says that there this morning from California. So one of the things that I see happening, people doing videos online and doing case studies deals, or they get a new list of assets in, is some people are good at posting photos of the property, and other people just put this map, okay?
Oh, yeah.
This map out where you can't tell what the property looks like. Hey, I got 12 assets in here. You want to partner with me? There's no, as I like to say, bam.
Yeah.
The Emerald Lagasse, bam. There's no smell to it. There's no scent to it. There's nothing to excite people about that aspect of things.
Right.
What are some simple things people can do even if they just find a street view photo?
Yeah. Google Street View, I would say, I mean, that's a really easy tool actually to use. I mean, be able to zoom in and so you can either use Street View or take in mind, even at Apple Maps that come standard on like an iPhone or something like that. Those platforms actually give you like a 3D look, and you can zoom in, kind of go out a little bit of an angle, kind of get a different viewpoint of it. So you could even utilize some of those resources. But yeah, I would say right now, Google Maps being the most prominent, easiest way to use, because I mean, they have done a killer job on really just kind of mapping out the world. And where they haven't, they're on the check too. And then Apple Maps, that feeds a lot from Yelp and other platforms like that. So if you can't find what you're looking for through Google, there's a really good chance you'll be able to go through that apps or the Maps app and find what you're looking for there.
Yeah, when we do looking for photos of properties, because oftentimes there's so many other, whether it's Google Maps or even we like to jump on Bing too.
Oh yeah.
Bing often has some better photos of the property, more recent stuff from time to time. So
So Bing is actually really well known for their images.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, when you're looking at some of these platforms, like, a lot of people make fun of Bing. I've made fun of Bing plenty of times, in fact, you see some of these college humor shows, they make fun of Bing. But Bing actually did a really good job on utilizing images, inside of their search engine. And a lot of applications actually took note of that, and they started kind of utilizing Bing's being able to basically tap into their whole system to start being able to pull that information. Google's starting to really kick up their photos. It's really important to contribute content. We've talked about it plenty of times: video, photos, all that kind of stuff on a regular basis. But that's just because they're also seeing what the world is going and what people like to see and what they want to view. But yeah, Bing was definitely an early adopter of really hitting the images hard.
Now, one of the things that you've done in the past, and now you've gone over kind of a milestone recently, over 5 million views on the photos that you've taken, correct? On
Google?
Yes, in Google, correct?
I'm actually approaching 20 million now.
My apology, approaching 20 million views on your photos. But that's one of the great things from National Social Media Day.
Uh-huh.
That was one of the biggest aha moments I learned, even at the late 1 a.m. time slot, where I started to go act like a robot.
That was pretty funny.
But that was one of the things that I learned the most, is that if you're out at a spot, if you're out having fun at an event or location, or looking at a property, because you've done a lot of photos for realtors and 3D views and things like that.
Yep, absolutely.
Is basically taking the time to upload that into Google, correct?
Yeah. Well, not just taking the time to upload it into Google, but actually taking the time to make sure that whatever you upload to Google has titles. If you have a way to optimize the image, put keywords on the back end, retitle the photo for what it is. So, for instance, if you take a picture of a house, right? But if you actually put on there what the address of the house is, or this was a white 2-story house in this city, well, then somebody who's looking for, maybe it's a house, or maybe they, even if they're going after that color, you want your photo to come up, right? So optimizing it before uploading it to Google. But most people have the issue with just uploading the things in the first place. And so, when we talk about optimizing, that just sounds like a lot of work. And
optimizing sounds like a big high-end work, when all you just really meant was just relabel the photo.
Yeah, it's like right-click, rename, 2-story home in Wisconsin. You know what I mean? Like, bam, done, and now we've uploaded it. Basically, just consider Google as a blind person. They can't see what color the house is. They can't see what type of house it is, but they could definitely read what type of house it is, which again, when you're looking at search results and how things come up in search, it's all about optimization, making sure that if you want your stuff to show up within those search results, then you got to take that little bit extra step to make sure that you could possibly start ranking for that. Not to say that you will, just because you label a photo doesn't mean it's going to rank number 1 on Google.
Right.
There's a lot of other factors, but if you're uploading stuff on a consistent basis and you're contributing on a regular basis, the chances of you starting to go up in rankings, and sometimes relatively pretty quickly, depending on the competition in the area, it's very likely.
So that's one thing I had no clue about, that Google ranked photos, or people that uploaded photos.
Yeah.
Google ranks everything. We should all know this by now, right?
Yeah. So they'll even go as far as, like, if you look at a local business listing, the photo at the top is the most viewed photo. Like, as people view photos, they basically push everything up the ladder. And if that photo is not getting viewed, it gets pushed down, because for them, they want to be the best looking right off the bat, right? So if this photo is getting the most views, then that means we want to put that at the top and just rank them down from there. Which I think, for any kind of person that has, whether it's brick and mortar, maybe they are doing stuff on the Google side of things, it really does give you a good idea of like what people are looking at, how many people are viewing those photos. And if you're contributing images on Google, they do, inside Google Maps, inside your contributions tab. If you've never seen that, I suggest that you get inside Google Maps and take a look at it. But your contribution tab keeps track of everything. How many times you've done a review, how many photos you've put, how many times you've checked into places, how many times you've edited somebody else's listing. Maybe you said, well, this place was open and clearly the building burnt down last year. It's not open anymore, right? Google tracks all of that stuff because, of course, they want to reward you. And at the same time, if you do something wrong, they also want to ban you. So,
what is the thing that get you banned?
Just breaking their terms of use. I mean, you can get sandboxed. Basically, it's kind of like when I talk about optimizing photos, putting like, maybe what that photo is. Now, if I just went on there and said, okay, well, I took a photo of a 2-story White House in Wisconsin, and maybe it's a foreclosure, maybe it's, I'm trying to talk about all those different areas, but now I've not only put, White House, Wisconsin, in foreclosure, new house buys, realtors, and I just start keyword cramming that, you'll get penalized for it. Google will remove the photo, because it breaks their terms and conditions. And honestly, if you're doing a lot of stuff as a business, I have seen it to where they basically kind of do an overall review. I mean, you got to take in mind, like if you start effing up, they're going to start really looking at everything you're doing to see like, hey, is this the only, area where they, violated our terms and conditions,
or do they go back and do it on everyone?
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, Facebook and stuff like that, all of the channels will ban you for something. That's why it's good to just know the rules and make sure you play by the game. Yeah,
exactly. That's a good point, because I know that other people, some mutual people that we know, would talk about uploading videos to YouTube, and they put the description on it, but at the very end they put like Justin Bieber, or they start putting on crazy keywords at the very end that's beyond what you can see on the screen,
right?
But it still shows up in Google and YouTube search engines, trying to boost their video up quite a bit.
Yeah. See, and stuff like that. Here's the thing, though, is that at some point in time, Google doesn't even need to step in, because the people are going to do it for you. Like I'll tell you, plenty of times I've been on YouTube, and if you're not seeing any of this, it's because you're not probably getting enough traffic just yet. But you will start having people cuss you out about putting fraud, about putting stupid stuff a part of your videos, hoping that they rank higher, because, basically think about this. The internet's built on trust, right? I mean, well, I wouldn't say that.
Hang on. Where's the weatherman at these days?
Well, we want to try to trust who we're doing business with, right? We go to Amazon to shop because we know when I buy something off Amazon, I don't even really have to think about it, because I already know that I trust Amazon. I trust the way that they have their transactions. And if there's a discrepancy, I can get a hold of somebody at Amazon and figure it out from there. You go to a small, weird website, small mom and pop that doesn't look like they put too much time into it, but it has a payment portal and they want you to buy something. You're probably not going to trust that too much unless you get a hold of them, you email them and make sure it's legit, right? So when people are looking at your content, if they, maybe if they do type in Justin Bieber and they find you and it has nothing to do with Justin Bieber, I mean, you're basically going to start shooting yourself in the foot, because it really does come off of the reason why people get followers, the reason why people get people that like their stuff and they comment, is because you're a legit person, you're doing the right thing, and they feel like, hey, I can relate to this person. If you're not giving that type of experience to the user and you're basically, leading them down a path of fraud, I mean, just be ready to get your ass handed to you, and the people will report you. Google doesn't have to find you. I mean, people just start flagging all of your content, and Google asks them, well, why are you flagging the content? Well, this is all bullshit, and you're going to get in trouble. They're going to start pulling your stuff down. So all that hard work that you did is now out the window, when if you just did it right in the first place, now you have content that's going to be living there for a long time. It's starting to gain history. You're contributing more on a regular basis, and you're going to really start building like that path that Google can see of like, okay, yeah, this person is clearly doing a good job. They're clearly doing good content. So let's go ahead and start pushing them up the rankings, because they are relevant to the search terms that these people are looking for, because they're contributing a good user experience to our platform.
So let's talk about that, because I think a lot of people, especially people I talk to, like I was at this new media summit this last week and was blown away and talking with people, and people are like, they want to get exposure, but they're not out doing basic things to help them get their word out. They're not posting videos. They're not sharing or creating content.
Yeah.
And I've always been it's like the snowball effect. Yeah, you may start with one video. It may not be very big. It might be like a snowflake. You put enough together, you got a snowball.
Yeah.
You put enough together over time, you got a head, and you got a nice big snowman. Then you have a freaking avalanche of content, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I would say it blows my mind when I hear people, one, I need to sell more product. I need to get my stuff out there, but they won't build content. They won't shoot the videos, or maybe if they do, they don't like it. And so they don't want to push it out there. Right. Which, Scott, you've told me plenty of times, hey, you just got to knock this shit off and just and just post it, right? Because it's not going to be perfect, and you'll be able to perfect it, but having a schedule and actually utilizing a content schedule to know when you create content, what type of content you're actually creating, really helps out a whole lot. And the one thing I'll tell you is that if you're starting to do something, like, take it in baby steps, right? Because like if you said, well, I wanted to shoot a video, what do you think I should do with it? Well, I would give you the whole gambit of what I would tell you to do with that video, all the way down to now this video is a blog and it's going on your website. You don't have a blog on your website? Holy shit, we got to figure that out too. Like we would go down that whole route, which can get very overwhelming when you're already running a business. So I would say, if you're going to start with a video, just start with that video and at least get it up there, right? Start getting your feedback from your clients or, from your friends or whatever the case is, but leave it there. Post it and leave it there. Don't take it down. Just let it live.
Where do you mean post it? Post it where?
Well, it could be posted on your website. It could be posted on Facebook, YouTube. You could take clips of it. We actually do.
Let's keep it simple. Keep it simple because I get the idea. I love the clips. I know the last tool you showed me, phenomenal. I have not used it yet. But the point of being is it's still taking a video. Let's keep it simple. Yeah. So taking a video and at least uploading it to either Facebook or YouTube. Two of the biggest things, right?
I would say Facebook or YouTube is exactly where I'd load them to. Just one of those channels. You could do it to both. If you don't have a Facebook or your Facebook really isn't developed out, you might want to go ahead and start housing everything on YouTube. But take in mind, kind of what you said. So, you get enough snow and now you make a snowball and it just keeps on going from there, right? Well, if you don't want to post anything, maybe you don't have a social structure down yet. You really, your social media isn't under control, but you got to start creating all this content. Like what Scott said, just start shooting a ton of video. Get it, start really figuring out what your branding is, get comfortable with you talking on the microphone, listening to your own voice, figure out ways to edit down these videos or whatever, whatever you can do there. And I would just start housing it all on YouTube. I would basically just start collecting it all on YouTube because once you get a big collection of videos up there, then you can say, okay, I'm going to bring in a specialist who's going to help me like build all the social postings and start really talking about my videos. But now you're not falling into the, the YouTuber trap of I got to create content every day. Now I'm getting burnt out and exhausted. No, now I have a whole bank of videos that I'm basically just going to start rolling out one after the other. We were looking at strategies where we could basically sit down for just about one day and come up with a whole quarter worth of content and then just start rolling that out. So we don't even have to worry about content anymore until that next quarter. But that goes along with our campaigns and, maybe it's the audience that we're going after. So, for instance, if it's a real estate and you're trying to go after, maybe it's, investors only, that's one thing, right? Or maybe you're going after realtors, specifically, like now you have little campaigns that you're doing each quarter with all the content you're doing. So your messaging stays consistent. It doesn't get too far out there. But at the same time, you're getting your content up. Facebook is great, but I would say if you're starting to do a lot of video on Facebook, you're going to start feeling obligated to actually do your postings as well. If you're uploading videos on a regular basis, you're going to start wanting to talk about them, but you got to have time to do that. Again, it's consistency, right? You start uploading videos and then you get like 4 or 5 videos and you feel great. You got a lot of really great postings out there. And well, this week got really busy. And so now I can't post anything for now. It's been 2 weeks later and you're trying to pick it up again. All the audience that you probably got when that first set of videos you posted, you probably have already lost. Or if you haven't lost them as far as followers go, you've definitely lost them in your content showing up in their feed because they haven't engaged with you. And if you notice, anytime you go maybe check out a friend on Facebook, you now also start seeing their feeds come up. It's because you've shown interest in them. So Facebook is going to say, hey, well, maybe they're interested in seeing more about this person. Go from there, right? Of course, you can follow people, unfollow people, and all that good stuff. But
that's a good point, though, because as soon as I've hit 5,000 friends on my Facebook page, going through and scrolling through, like, who's this person? I don't know this person. I don't know why I'm friends with them. Unfollowing. Oh, hey, I ain't seen this person in a while. Click on there. What's going on with them? Like, why am I not seeing this? And suddenly the next day, they're in my feed. Yeah. True story. I was like, this happened last night during the Cowboys game. I'm like, what the hell have I not seen? What the hell? Then this morning, I'm like, oh, there we go.
Right. Yeah. It's just showing interest. Because you have so many friends, right? I mean, could you? Well.
I'm kind of a big deal. I'm just kidding. I have a lot of leather bound books.
People know me. Well, you can't see all of your friends through the feed. I mean, I think on Facebook. I mean, I don't want to like fabricate a number, but yeah. Well, I think it's something like that. It's only like 10% of your actual friends list is what you see. So, I mean, of course, the algorithm is going to change as you show interest in different people. And so, yeah, I mean, again, having a plan, a schedule, and really understanding how you're going to achieve that schedule, the type of content, and making sure you even have the resources in the first place. Shooting a video is one thing, and take in mind you can do a live video and just make it very natural, very raw, and that's probably the easiest thing to do, because people like people like it being authentic. Okay, it's like you see reality shows where they don't want cameras in the shots, or they try to make it look all staged. But yet on YouTube, you got guys that are just running out there with cameras, and it doesn't matter what gets you. They're even telling you, like, bring the camera around. And those guys are millions of followers, and they're producing content, and it's great stuff, right? Because people like the realism. Like, this isn't fake. This isn't set up. This wasn't all staged. This is you just straight up being a legit human being, being honest, being authentic, talking about what, your industry, what you're professional in.
I think it's one of the most important things I think people would realize is it's delivered is better than perfect.
Yeah.
And especially in the real estate investing realm, a lot of people don't have the time or the budget to do a lot of fancy production work. Mm-hmm. Sometimes just pulling out the cell phone, taking a quick selfie video or a video of the property you're walking through or the due diligence you're doing adds value. Mm-hmm. So much more value than not doing anything.
Absolutely.
And I think most people never get off of zero, never get off the center to get out to do something, and they realize, oh, this is a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. It's a lot worse in your head. It's like what you just said at the beginning. Optimization sounds much more difficult than actually just changing the name of the file.
That's literally all. Because, I mean, if you're going to look at a property, let's say you don't even use Google Maps, you actually go out there and take a photo yourself. It's really easy to pull your phone out and right there in front of the house, hey, I'm standing in front of this next property I'm going to be buying, and then just give the whole pitch. And that's it.
2 to 5 minutes.
2 to 5 minutes. I mean, and you could talk about it if you got a chance to tour the house. You could just keep it live the whole entire time, taking people through there. So it gives people a chance to, find the feed and jump on. But I mean, really easy stuff to do. And it's a great starting point. And even if you don't want to do that, what I always recommend to people is that if you're even considering getting in the video, just start shooting a ton of video. Okay. Now, we're not garbage collectors. Okay. We make videos that people want to watch. Okay. So don't just take a bunch of footage and just start collecting it. Try to keep the best pieces, but start getting comfortable. Start getting comfortable talking. Start getting comfortable with the way that you try to avoid saying and avoid all of that, right? When you start shooting video, it starts allowing you to get more comfortable. Again, intros, outros, not doing the right? And then from there, just making sure that your messaging is there. If you just want to get on a video and just wing it, by all means, I mean, I think there's a lot of people out there that their personalities, fit really well with that. If you're somebody that has to be a little more structured, you need to know what you're going to talk about, have your talking points on a regular basis. Just know, like, hey, anytime I get on video, I want to make sure people know these top 5 things, and that may change at the different locations you go to, but at least make yourself some of those points. So it's never about, well, when I do a video about, I'm not that interesting. Most people don't really feel that they're that interesting, right? But you get on video, you start being able to hit those topics, you'll really figure out soon enough, like, oh yeah, maybe people actually do like me, or they do find my content interesting, or maybe through the process of me making video, I've gotten good enough to where I actually know the type of content that people want to hear. And so my messaging has just gotten more fine-tuned. I mean, I'm sure you understand that.
I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And doggone it, people like me. The Stuart Smalley aspect of marketing. But it's a really good point, is that you're going to hone your skill. I listened back. Here's one of the great lessons. When I was in college, freshman in college, one of the first classes I took was radio and television, because I wanted to be the next Dan Patrick from ESPN. All right, welcome to Sports Center.
Scott Clarkson here.
That's right. And we've got the heights. Well, one of the things that the instructor made us do was do a video recording, or not video, a tape recording. We had a cassette tape recording.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you may not know what that time is.
Oh no, I used to have a little Walkman.
Well, Walkman aside, nice stuff. Where I'd record myself and then I'd listen back to my voice.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in the class had to do that. And you know what? The number one thing from that is everybody hates the sound of their own voice.
Yeah, absolutely.
How it sounds for me is to be differently than if I replayed this back to here, and vice versa, right?
Yeah.
We all hate our voice. Oh, it sounds horrible. That doesn't sound like me. I sound like an idiot. Or you hear yourself saying or other things like that.
Yeah.
It's one of the best things that you can do. But it's also one of the biggest learning curves. It's a hockey stick learning of what you goof up on and how you can correct things. And sometimes are just a silence filler.
Yeah.
Sometimes silence can say so much, especially when you're out speaking to somebody or you're in front of stage or you're on a video, giving people the opportunity to kind of catch up,
right?
Or a topic to sink in. And Stephanie says up here, absolute truth, she hates her voice.
Yeah, I got to say that, I definitely I've never liked to hear my voice, but at the same time, because I've started doing more video, I've gotten used to it. Like I've gotten used to the fact of like what Scott said, hey, I don't like the sound of my own voice, but yet I'm here in person with Scott, and then I listen to him on video, and no, his voice sounds the same to me on both.
Because mine will sound the same, but it's going to hear differently to me because I'm hearing it differently coming through the mandible and my jaw up to my ear. So that's the thing. It's different for when we hear our own voice versus when we're hearing it versus hearing it again on repeat.
Well, and one thing I'd like to, and this is something we've talked about in the past, is that when you don't like the sound of your voice, just remember that that's how people think you sound. Okay. And that is how you sound. Same thing with like, well, I don't like the way that I look on camera, or I don't like the way that I act on camera. Well, you can act one way on camera, but when you get around people in person and you're acting something completely different, either one, you're fake, or two, like, well, I guess there's really just one. You're being fake, okay? I guess there's not really two on that. So it's best to just be, hey, if you're animated, be animated. If you're a little more, if you're a little more on the calm side, and that's just how you are, like, just figure that out and see what works, because the more comfortable you are on video, the easier it's going to be. And as soon as you accept that you are who you are, one, I think you'll be able to move through life a whole lot easier. And then two, just, things like video, or maybe doing a podcast, or, taking photos and stuff like that, or just really putting yourself out there. Maybe it's even getting on stage. All of that will be way easier for you.
It's not easy to begin with. And some people are not as naturally outgoing. They're introverted versus extroverted. Yeah. I've never had a problem getting on stage. I will tell you, this was funny. I experienced nervous before speaking for a very genuine nervousness before speaking this, I think it was Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm at this thing called New Media Summit, and we got 150 people giving their 2-minute pitch to get on stage or to get on a podcast. They're doing it in front of a video camera, a couple thousand people watching, and then 200 people in the room, and then they're being critiqued by the 8 judges.
Yeah.
I've been a judge. All right. And then suddenly the guy says, okay, Scott, you're pitching. We want to hear your pitch. I'm like, because they were doing like drawing like letters. So if you got S called, then all the S's went. Yeah. Well, I get up on stage and I'm like, okay, fine, sure, I'll do it. And I'm like, I need some music. So I reach over to the DJ. So I need to play some Guns N' Roses. Yeah. He's like, I'm like, you got Dr. Feelgood? He goes like, no. I'm like, what do you have? I'm like, do I need Guns N' Roses? What about Motley Crue? You got
Justin Bieber, bro.
Oh, yeah. So he had Welcome to the Jungle. I was like, okay, so let's get it going. So played Welcome to the Jungle. It started. All eyes on me. And I knew my 5 points. Yeah. Because I've given my 5 points a million times. But I was nervous, actually. Yeah. I was actually nervous before speaking. But I turned around and looked straight in the camera. I had my notes in my head. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are reading straight off on UT. They're because they're stopping and stuff like that. But I knocked it out. 45 seconds later, I was done. Yeah. Okay. And people were like, whoa, that was good. I'm like, yeah, because it's something I say on a regular repeat basis. Mm-hmm. Your elevator pitch. Okay. And that's what a lot of people don't realize is the only time everybody gets nervous. Everybody gets butterflies. Somebody said, her quote this great week was, get your butterflies in order though. Okay. Which is easier said than done a lot of times. Right. But it's always worse in our mind than it is in what it actually results in. And the minute you can realize it's worse up here than it is real life,
right,
a lot better off. You'll get over your fear of doing video. You get over your fear of doing selfies. You'll get over your fear of just sharing what you're working towards, right? And go from there. Let's see here.
One thing I will say. So on the selfie part, a lot of times when we do video, we hold the video out and we're looking at the camera. Hold your camera up. Like don't think like if you're already doing video on your phone, like don't try to try to be cool by holding your phone like kind of low key, acting like you're not taking a video of yourself. Like just straight up get that camera out in front of you and stay up. Because I don't want to see what's up your nose, okay?
You don't want to see the bear in the
yeah, exactly. I mean, I get these people like they're holding it down here, and you're just seeing like their chin and up their nose and everything.
Seeing there are multiple chins. Whereas if you're up like this, you may only see one chin.
Yeah, well, but you see your face.
Yes,
like I can look directly at you, but now I can't even hear what you're saying because I'm too interested in looking up your nose, and that's just distracting. So remember that you're gonna be taking video, like. If you don't think it's cool when people take selfies and stuff like that, then go find, do it inside your car, go where, you're not being seen. But if you are doing video, don't do it up your nose.
Yeah. Eric Hyde said something on here. Just be yourself is what I'm hearing. And,
yeah.
And it is true. Be yourself. Just be yourself. But the thing is, it's okay to laugh if you're humorous and silly. It's okay to do that. Just try to make sure you're doing it on if your subject's serious, be a little serious about it. It's okay to joke around and make fun. But if you're just kind of laid back, don't become overly top serious because people will have a hard time accepting that. Like, well, you're not serious at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas this isn't you.
Yeah.
And go from there. What else he says? Gotta say I'm loving this format, guys. Good job. I like the chat back and forth and from two guys hanging out, talking good stuff. And you know what's funny?
Yeah.
This is what we do all the time.
Yeah. This is a pretty standard routine. Whether it's getting drinks, just hanging out, having dinner. Yeah, it's this is how it usually works out.
Yeah, you, me, Christy, Stephanie, the four of us that are talking about something, just back and forth on some things.
Yeah.
Shannon says the chin thing is very important.
Oh yes, I don't know how many times I've been either recording, like actually doing videos in an event, and like I get too low and I get in trouble. They're like, no, do that again, but go higher. Like, I don't want to see the chin, and everybody agrees. But yeah, I mean, the chin thing is I'm a photographer and I've had people take their camera away from me when they ask me if I take a photo because like, you're just not understanding. Like, I don't want this. Like, like I need something like, way up here.
Is it like my big fat Greek wedding? Here, I'll hold your neck's back. You hold mine. You hold my chin in place. I'll hold yours in place. Oh my gosh! But it's the truth that and go Dodgers. Yeah, whatever. They're not going to win anything this year.
So I don't have an opinion on that, so I'll leave it out.
That's fine. But I think the biggest thing that we always talk about is just get it out and get it done. I mean, it's just I don't know. We did learn some good stuff. Social media day from Dana.
Yeah,
shared some amazing things.
Amazing, yeah.
On a YouTube strategy,
right?
About how to upload it and then not make it public, because the minute you upload a video to YouTube, and if it's public, YouTube starts to go out and try to find stuff for you, right?
Yeah.
So that was a key tip that I've implemented, is making sure when I do upload a video to YouTube now, I make sure I've got the right title in there, I got the right keywords and the right description in there immediately.
Yep.
Because if you just upload a video where it says vid 0807, whatever it is, and you don't change it, YouTube's going to classify that video as that and then go out and try to find classifications for that, which may not find anything at all for you.
Yeah.
May not show up in others' feeds. So if you're uploading a video to YouTube, which you all should be doing because it's the second largest search engine.
Yep.
Okay. Take the time to put a title in there and don't make it, honestly, you want to make it searchable.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be what you think is what would be a good title for a book doesn't make a good title for a video.
Yeah, absolutely. It has to be something searchable. It has to be something that people would actually search, right? You can't, we've dealt with like dental clients who want to use like the technical terms for their industry instead of just saying tooth, like tooth removal. They went, no, it's like the specific procedure is this. Like, well, yeah, let's talk about that in the description. like, but let's get a title that is actually searchable.
Right.
And take in mind, you can always look at if you're not really quite sure, like maybe how to title those videos. One, I would check out influencers in the industry who are already maybe putting up videos like yours and really see maybe the way that they are using titles, how they're formatting their descriptions, that type of stuff. Of course, you can always look on, Google and basically, go through the keyword platforms and see like maybe what are the highest ranking keywords for your industry. So maybe when you put together your titles, you can have like, something that, don't just throw your keywords in there. Make sure it's comprehensible. And again, searchable. This is what people search for. This is what I would type in trying to find your video or, something close to your type of content. But, there are different aspects and different ways that you can, figure out the type of, verbiage that you need to be using.
What's your favorite type of video to do?
Oh, geez. I love, so I like abstract, like just kind of weird stuff going on. Mm-hmm. So I have a lot of apps where I'll take a video of myself and then, also now there's like 8 of me and then they all go back in and then disappears. Now, I don't post a whole lot of that stuff because I'm still figuring out how I roll that content out. I don't have something that's consistently shows like, hey, if I start rolling this content out, people will understand like the type of like how this is, how this correlates with what I do, compared to like looking at serving social. Now they're just confused because it's not consistent. This is different from over here. And, again, my messaging isn't there. Right now, I like doing those type of videos. Here recently, I've been getting more into like, marketing minutes where I'm actually giving like that, just that, 60 seconds of here's like something you can take today and actually implement. Right. And even then, new website coming out, a lot of cool stuff happening for serving social right now. So we're not even going to release that content because we know it wouldn't be as effective until we actually have something that supports what we're talking about. I don't want to just send you a video and talk to you about, just a quick little tidbit. I want you to be able to actually go back and read my blog on how that's implemented and the easiest way for you to be able to do that. But, again, we're getting some stuff out, but yeah, I think it's November. I think November is like the hard date for the new website to launch. So there'll be plenty of fireworks and firecrackers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Excited about that?
Yeah. Super pumped. It's going to be a whole marketplace. I don't want to talk too much about it just yet, but yeah, I mean, it's going to be probably the easiest way, I think, for, business owners to be able to buy marketing services and have very transparent upfront pricing compared to, just getting put into a monthly contract for some outrageous amount of money. And you're really not quite sure if it's working for you or not, but you're really just hoping when you get your reports back and see the, the data that, you got
measurable data.
Yeah. You actually got something out of it. Right. So we're trying to take a little bit different of approach and the new platform is going to be phenomenal. So we're super excited to share it with y'all once that comes.
That's cool. Let me ask you a question. Yeah. As marketers, because you guys work with a variety of different clients, mm-hmm. Do you ever have a conflict of conscience? And what I mean by that, a conflict of exactly what you guys are doing and sharing that message out to your own social platforms? Because you're doing a variety of different clients. Right. And so what I mean that is that a lot of people get into it, they're just doing like one type of client. Like, yeah, it's pretty easy to know what the hell I do, right? Yeah. I'm notes right. Notes coming out my nose, notes coming out my ears, not coming out my ass. Notes. Yeah, I know. It's about that time. I am in the 40s now to go get checked it out there. But what I'm trying to get at is it's different though, because your profiles, personal profiles are there.
Yeah.
But you guys do a variety of different things. Some great fun things, amazing things. I'm always cracking. I'm like, oh, where are you guys? That's like I said, you guys were down at the tailgate. You didn't call me. I would have been deathly sick anyway. But I was like, I wanted to go to the game, but right. I'm sitting there coughing up a lung.
Yeah. I would say in our business here recently, we haven't really shared too much of the stuff that we do for our clients with others because mm-hmm. that's not necessarily like, it's good to talk about how we help people yep. and maybe the businesses that we have helped.
Right.
Okay. And we do have like in our pitch decks and things, we talk about some of the businesses that we've helped. Now I will say on our current website right now, we definitely did not build out the bio section because we realized really quickly after we built this last site that this wasn't going to be the site that we we're going to stay with, and we we're going to rebuild the whole thing. So it's kind of like, well, I mean, it looks good enough, but
so it was delivered versus perfect.
Yeah. So we got the site out there, we updated it, but now I was like, nope. Now we're going to bring in the new platform, but we needed something that looked good, that showcased what for the most part what we did. On our end, though, we're focusing more towards just the actual education piece of marketing. There's a lot of information out there, but what I don't think people really understand with a lot of this information is that they don't understand the map on how it's built. Like this one piece, oh yeah, we were able to get this many followers and do all these crazy things, with this, using this tool. But what they don't show you is the actual infrastructure that is already built in play, that they're able to basically take those campaigns and build onto them, right? So there's everyone talks about marketing strategy. Marketing strategy is so important. It's not just the way that you deliver content, it's the way that you plan on people perceiving your business. It's how you roll out that messaging step by step, so it's not something that's too overwhelming for people. It's they consistently see it and they start to understand it, right? So on our side of things, our content and what we are going to showcase is more so about how we're actually taking the products and tools that we're trying to sell to all of you fine folks, on how we actually use those in our own business to actually showcase, hey, this is actually works. It's not just something we saw with another client. This is stuff that we're using in-house, and we'll be able to show those type of metrics and all that data.
That's good, because that's true. A lot of people, they think the success with marketing happens just like that, and it's a build-up process. Yeah, it's a one rock in the bucket at a time. One drip to help it overflow, but you've got to put that foundation in place. Yeah, absolutely. And the best day today is not mañana. Yeah. It's to start doing something today. Yeah. And realizing that it builds upon itself. The only reason I got to where I'm at today with 1,100 videos or 1,400 videos online is because I started doing one video. One video. How did I get to episode 343 of the podcast? Because I started with episode 1. Right. And just built it all out. And I got better at 300 is a lot better than it was at episode 3. All right, episode 3, I think I was throwing rubber duckies over my shoulder in the okay, which is pretty good. But that's the thing that people don't realize is if you're here for the long run, we're all here for the long run. No matter what you're doing today, no matter what you're doing in 10 years from now, marketing is still going to be one of the most integral parts of what you're doing. Yeah. I mean, it'll definitely, marketing always changes. And of course, as buyers, buyers look for information, that always changes, right? But yeah, I mean, marketing is definitely going to be one of those pieces that you want to have, and you want it to be there. So even going as far as like your website, if you plan on being in business for a long period of time, you're not just a fly-by-night salesman or anything like that. Being able to go ahead and have those platforms, have that infrastructure built, and then gaining the history, you're contributing. Now you got history. You see so many shitty websites where you're like, I don't know. And then you got these companies saying, I don't know how they're outranking you. Look at their website. I just spent 20 grand. Yeah, but these people been here since the 70s. Like you came in the business 5 years ago. Of course, they got history, they got clout, they got legitimacy online. True. A website though is just a landing. It's just a spot. You have to still direct people to that website. Oh yeah. That's the most important thing. People think a website solves everything. No. And when we go to these expos and we see people, we'll build you a website for your buyers, your sellers, and stuff like that. It doesn't mean people are going to instantly flock to your website. You've got to be out there still marketing, still sending out letters or doing things online. Or it's like handing out flyers to hope that people will show up at your pizza joint and actually walk through the door. Like the website's that brick and mortar. It's that digital real estate that you own. Yeah. Right. But you still have to have, you still have to tell people how to get there. You got to make sure it's connected to your Facebook and, anything that you put out, you're having somebody go back to your website, not just going back to your website. Let me make sure I'm clear on this. If you specifically have a blog or you have some type of content that you're marketing online and you have that blog maybe on your website that specifically talks about that same stuff, link back to the blog.
Like, don't just link them back to the site. Take them to the place in the site that actually reinforces, because if they like what they read, then they probably explore your site to check out others. At the same time, when you have Google Analytics set up and you're doing marketing like this, it's like that next level that people usually don't implement until they bring in a marketer, is actually understanding, okay, well, how many people actually went to that blog? And when they got to that blog, how long did they stay on there? And did they go anywhere else, once they got there? Take in mind too, you also can do remarketing through social media. So if you are doing marketing, they come through, they find your post on Facebook, they go to your blog, they read the blog, and then they go back into Facebook. We're now able to look at them and say, okay, well, can I touch this client again by, remarketing them through the social media channels, because basically you've kind of tagged them by coming through your site.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you that a lot of business owners that we talk to about this kind of stuff, especially, I don't want to single anybody out, but good old boys that are in business, okay? Their real thing about, I don't like it when people track me online, so I don't want to do that for somebody else. Well, hey, that's your decision, but you're missing out a whole lot. Like, you're missing out a lot of opportunity for your own business, and that's fine. Like, there are some of these areas where people don't think that they are ethical or whatnot.
Right.
But I do want to let you know, like, most people agree to be tracked. Most people agree to all these things that they say is an injustice. We're just too lazy to read the fine print to figure out what we're actually getting into.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there are those areas where you can really optimize, not just having a website, but truly understand how your website works for you. And, are those changes that need to be made? Is this content working out? All of that, even videos. Again, videos are the same thing. You bring people back to your video page. Maybe you have the featured video and some of the other videos you've done. You can see where exactly they go, where they clicked, where they clicked, where they left, what they looked at before they left, so you can just kind of adjust your content or adjust your video content, or just the way your descriptions are done. Right.
It totally makes sense. I totally agree with all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the thing. It's funny is, well, sometimes, and I've had to do this in my past, is put down what I thought was right and listen to the experts.
Yeah, it's not always easy.
It's not always easy. It's not always easy to bury your beliefs when your beliefs are wrong about with what everything else is going on. Definitely.
Yeah, that's the one thing I do like about marketing, though, is like, it's so big that I don't have to be the expert in all of this. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not the expert in all of this, because there are going to be things where people come to me, hey, I don't know how to do that, but I know somebody who can do that. And I know enough about the industry as a whole that I could make sure that it actually works and achieves the goal that you're going after. But I mean, you do have to bring in the experts and figure, why is this going wrong? Well, it's because you did it wrong. It's like, oh, okay.
At least you did something. Let's just turn around and fix it.
Yeah, exactly. You can.
It's usually just a small tweak here or there for a lot of things.
Most cases, yeah, it actually is.
Cool. Elijah, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you? Just going to the website?
Yep. So you can go to www.servingsocial.com. You can also find us online, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. No, I'm just kidding. We're not on Snapchat.
You guys were, well, but that's the thing. What Snapchat's really kind of just like.
Yeah. Well, I think Snapchat kind of did that because people can't understand how to produce content for Snapchat. Live video, that's actually been the biggest problem with live video, is that most live video companies, a lot of them went bankrupt. Periscope had a lot of issues because when it comes down to live content, there's a big lack of quality. So other than that, if y'all can always email me if you have any questions, Elijah, ELIJAH @servingsocial.com. I'm always more than happy to jump on a call with folks, chat with them, see what you got going on, see how we can help, or just even direct you in the right location. So,
yeah, because you guys have helped quite a few of our students actually out with different marketing tips and help them get things rock and rolling, which is exciting. That's why you guys are here all the time. You've helped me out and vice versa too. So yeah, for sure. Cool stuff, guys. Well, hey, Elijah, I'll let you get back to taking care of Christy, getting her some medicine.
Yeah. Say, big day. Appreciate it, everybody.
All right, guys. Well, hey, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Note Closer Show. Like Elijah said, and I said it again and again and again, don't wait to begin. Just start now. Start doing something now. And over time, it'll build up. You'll get better at what you do, And before too long, you'll be looking down at everybody from the top. So we'll see you all at the top, everybody. Bye.